I told my son the real reason his uncle isn't welcome here. My son Jake came home from school yesterday and asked me why Uncle Brian never comes to Thanksgiving anymore. He said his friends all have uncles who take them fishing and to baseball games. He wanted to know what he did wrong to make Uncle Brian stay away. I told him it wasn't his fault, that Uncle Brian made choices that meant he couldn't be around our family anymore. Jake didn't accept that answer. Dad, I'm 14. I'm not a little kid. Just tell me the truth. I looked at my wife. She nodded slowly. We'd always said we'd tell him when he was old enough. Maybe this was the moment. I sat Jake down at the kitchen table. My hands were shaking. 3 years ago, Uncle Brian borrowed money from us. A lot of money. He said it was for a business opportunity that couldn't fail. He showed us spreadsheets and projections. He was convincing. How much? Jake asked. $80,000. Our entire savings. The money we'd set aside for your college fund. Jake's face went pale. He didn't say anything. Brian told us we'd double our investment in 6 months. He said we'd be able to buy a bigger house, take vacations. All of it sounded too good to be true, because it was. There was no business, no investment opportunity. Brian had a gambling addiction he'd hidden from everyone for years. He owed money to people, dangerous people. He used our savings to pay off his debts. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. He just shrugged and said he'd pay us back eventually, like it was nothing, like he hadn't just stolen our future. I told him to leave and never come back. Jake was quiet for a long time. Then he asked the question I'd been dreading. Is that why Mom had to go back to work? Yes. Is that why we moved to this apartment? Yes. Is that why you work nights now? I couldn't answer. My throat closed up. My wife stepped in. Your dad works 2 jobs because Uncle Brian took everything we had. We've been rebuilding for 3 years. We're almost back to where we were. Jake stood up from the table. His fists were clenched. He stole from us and nobody did anything? I explained that we tried. We went to the police, but Brian had convinced us to give the money willingly. There was no crime on paper, just a family member who betrayed us. Jake went to his room without another word. The next morning, he came downstairs with a strange look on his face. He asked if he could borrow my laptop, said it was for a school project. I didn't think anything of it. 3 days later, my phone rang at 7 inches the morning. It was Brian. What the hell did your kid do? He was screaming. I had no idea what he was talking about. Brian explained that someone had created a website. It detailed everything he'd done to our family. Every lie, every stolen dollar, screenshots of his gambling accounts, photos of the luxury car he bought while we struggled to pay rent. The website had been sent to Brian's employer, his landlord, his new girlfriend, his church congregation. Everyone in his life received an anonymous email with a link. Brian lost his job by noon. His girlfriend left him by dinner. His landlord started eviction proceedings. I hung up and found Jake eating cereal at the kitchen table. Did you do this? He looked at me calmly. I didn't break any laws. I just told the truth. Made sure the right people knew who he really was. I should have been angry. I should have told him that revenge doesn't solve anything. Instead, I sat down next to him. How did you even find all that information? Jake shrugged. Uncle Brian has the same password for everything. It's your birthday plus the year you were born. He used it at our house once and I remembered. My wife came downstairs and saw our faces. What happened? Jake finished his cereal and put his bowl in the sink. Uncle Brian is having a really bad week. I made sure of it. He walked out of the kitchen. My wife looked at me. I looked at her. Neither of us said a word about punishment. We just sat there in silence. Brian called again that night begging for help. Said his whole life was falling apart. I told him welcome to the club. Then I blocked his number. Jake came home from school today with a college brochure. First time he's mentioned college since we lost his fund. I didn't ask where he got it. I just told him we'd figure it out together. He smiled and said he already started a savings account. He's been mowing lawns for 2 years. I never knew.